Muslims the world over celebrate Eid al-Kabir with messages of love, faith, and peaceful coexistence taking center stage. President Muhammadu Buhari directs security chiefs to step up their game to ensure safety of lives and property in the country. Airport passengers lament hike in ticket fare. These and more coming to you on Panorama from the Lagos Network Center. I'm Hingino John Adams. I'll be back soon. Thanks for being there. Strict adherence to Allah's instruction as regards tolerance, peaceful coexistence, and acts of sacrifice have again been re-emphasized to all Muslim faithful. Correspondent Abolade Sarami reports that the chief imam of Lagos, Suleiman Abu, while admonishing faithful on the need to dwell on lessons of obedience as exemplified by Ibrahim, implored them to show love to all without discrimination.
Of giving to the less privileged should continue. That is what Allah is expecting from us. That is why He's saying the taqwa, the fear of Allah in you, with which we have slaughtered the rams.
Muslim faithful who converged on the Dodan Barracks Eid prayer ground to observe the 2 rakat prayers called on the people to persevere and shun all forms of social vices in the forthcoming 2019 general elections. President Muhammadu Buhari has urged Nigerians to rise above personal group, sectional, and other interests and promote harmony and tolerance in dealing with one another at all times. In his Salah message, President Buhari urged all Muslims to use the occasion for sober reflection and self-examination and strive to be good ambassadors of their religion by upholding high moral values. He reminded Muslims that the occasion of Eid al-Kabir is a remembrance of submission of Prophet Ibrahim to his creator, by which he taught the world the value of sacrifice in relating with one another and in nation building, while stating that religion is a major factor in influencing human behavior towards good conduct. He regretted that selfishness, greed, and corruption have overwhelmed human souls to the extent that people abandon their religious beliefs in pursuit of their greed. He stressed that fighting corruption is a task that must be done in order to protect the larger interests of ordinary Nigerians who are the worst victims of diseases, poverty, malnutrition, and other afflictions. On the current economic challenges, the president reassured Nigerians that such are temporary because the welfare of the people is the main thrust of the change agenda of the administration. Senate President Bukola Saraki has implored Nigerians to imbibe the spirit of brotherhood and peaceful coexistence in their relationship during Salah celebration and thereafter. In a statement by his special advisor on media and publicity, the Senate President urged Nigerians to increase their efforts in charitable, perseverance, and spiritual intercessions for the nation. He advised Muslims to devote their prayers to the call on Allah to strengthen unity of the nation. President Muhammadu Buhari, in his own message, Speaker, House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara urged Nigerians to imbibe the spirit of sacrifice, love, and tolerance in order to foster peace and unity and progress of the country ahead of the 2019 general elections. In a statement by the special advisor to the Speaker on Media and Publicity, Turaki Hassan, Speaker Dogara said, while rejoicing with Muslims on the occasion of Eid al-Kabir, Nigerians should demonstrate renewed commitment to the Nigeria's project in order to move the country forward. And President Muhammadu Buhari has directed the armed forces and other security agencies to step up their game and ensure that the country is safe and secure for people to go about their normal activities without fear. The directive was given at a routine security meeting held
for putting in place security measures that have drastically reduced incessant attacks on communities across the country.
Not just me, but some other governors as well, made it a point to thank him, Mr. President, and indeed the federal government in tackling the security situation in the country, especially in the recent past, where a lot of improvement has taken place.
The detail of the operations that brought about this peace, especially in Benue, Taraba, and Zamfara states, as well as other ongoing operations, was what the security chiefs briefed the president at this meeting that lasted for more than 2 hours.
Of course, we made all our comments, especially the new operations in Benue, Zamfara, and of course Taraba. Operation White Stroke and Operation Charandaji. We gave him the extent of successes in this operation, and we are to continue on those line of actions in this operation.
We have seen that a lot of improvement on the security situation in the country, more especially in Zamfara and Benue states. If you go along the Niger Delta, also the same thing. But in the northeast, we are having worrisome report, which we looked into critically and we are taking also decision on it.
The meeting was the first official assignment by the president as he resumes from vacation. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Citizens of Zamfara state have attributed the incessant killings and destruction of property in the state to the collapse of societal structures such as the traditional and conventional justice structures and the security apparatus. This came from a town hall meeting organized by the Nigerian Bar Association, which had a high-powered delegation to assess the happenings in the state. NTA's Femi Akewo was in the team and now reports.
Visit to Gusau, the Zamfara state capital, and some of its major urban centers gives the picture of a very normal setting. Even a drive on the highways through Kauranamoda to Zurmi, a town about 30 kilometers to Jibia, which is on the Nigerian-Niger border, still paints the picture of normalcy with trading and agricultural activities going on well. But of these commercial spots and a little into the hinterland, the story is quite different. It is an endless tale of mindless carnage, banditry, and destruction by people who citizens themselves say now live above the law. As a way of collating facts about the happenings in Zamfara state, the Nigerian Bar Association, led by the president, Abubakar Mahmood, organized a town hall meeting where all concerned parties spoke their minds on the situation, narrowing down on the failure of both traditional and governmental institutions to curtail excesses and impunity.
We attach religious sentiment, ethnic sentiments, and geographical sentiments to security issues.
If you are really working hard, why can't you collect the arms and ammunition from the bandits? You are able to go there and collect those arms and ammunition from them, but you come to us, those of us that are hunters, and come to protect our villages in the night, and then you arrest us, seize our guns, and leave us open.
The state government acknowledged the magnitude of the problem, but assured that everything was being done to stem the tide of the killings.
Nobody wants this situation in our state. So, but we have to close the gap. We must come together. We must join hands in the spirit of partnership and see how we can fight this problem.
The beauty of this palace does not reflect the lifestyle of those in it. In the last few months, it has been the tale of woes by those people who live in Zurmi and its neighboring villages. And Zurmi is just one of the tens of other villages that have experienced banditry in Zamfara state. The most pained is the Emir of Zurmi, one of the affected localities, who called for solutions in the face of the obvious problems staring Zamfara state in the face. President of the Nigerian Bar Association said that Nigeria as a nation must rise up to stop the spread of impunity and lawlessness, promising that the Nigerian Bar Association
justice, for which lawyers also have responsibility.
The visit to Zamfara state is the fourth of such visits by the NBA to troubled spots in the country under the presidency of Abubakar Mahmood. Other places the association had earlier visited are Southern Kaduna, Niger Delta, and Benue. Femi Okewo, NTA News.
The Lagos State Police Command has deployed 1,000 policemen to cover the nooks and crannies of the state to ensure a hitch-free Eid al-Kabir celebration. The State Police Commissioner, Imohimi Edgar, while calling on motorists and members of the public to be
The State Commissioner of Police, Imohimi Edgar, advised motorists to henceforth verify every consignment brought into their motor parks, especially during the Eid al-Kabir festival.
There's a manhunt out for those that wanted to move that consignment. So we have our parks properly monitored, especially this period where we know that there's going to be increased use of these parks for travels.
The police boss disclosed that an additional 1,000 policemen have also been deployed to effectively man strategic posts such as the Eid praying ground, fun spots, and other highly populated areas. While urging Lagos residents to celebrate moderately, he encouraged them to use the police rapid response numbers 112 and 767, as well as the 10 dedicated police hotlines in Lagos, Doing, Dia, NTA News.
Meanwhile, security has been strengthened within and outside Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, to ensure a hitch-free Eid al-Kabir celebration across the state. Maimuna Garba has the details.
Ensure adequate protection of lives and property of the citizenry, including those in the liberated communities, to celebrate Salah devoid of any security threats. All security agencies in Borno state have taken proactive measures to forestall breach of security throughout the period. To this end, the police, army, and paramilitary agencies embarked on a combined operation show of force within the state capital.
We want to assure the public that we will no room for insecurity, no room for criminality.
Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, on its part, has concluded arrangements to complement work of private security guards at recreational centers in the metropolis, as personnel of the Corps also patrol the city.
All the adjoining streets leading to the Eid grounds are going to be manned by security personnel.
The heavy traffic flow witnessed in the state capital today is not unconnected to preparations by residents ahead of Salah, as the Federal Road Safety Corps assured the motoring public of their safety to move freely during the festive period.
We disperse our men on the highways within and outside the town.
To further ensure watertight security, Borno State Police Command has restricted vehicular movement until after the Eid prayers. Meanwhile, tents have been erected at Ramat Square, the main Eid ground, and others within the metropolis. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
You're still watching Panorama, coming to you from the Lagos Network Center. More reports after this break.
Brought us as usual.
As usual.
For the three
you are welcome, sir.
As usual, yeah? I was...
You take that one. You take that one. We don't understand. We want Nigerian homegrown rice. Finish. You don't have. You don't have.
Join the rice revolution today.
No other rice that tastes like Nigerian rice. Are you sorry? That's the Nigerian rice we are talking about. Chocolate made in Nigerian rice. Healthy food. I'm going to bring Mrs. to come to chocolate rice of made in Nigeria here. And see how it are made.
Correct.
How they are cook it.
Correct.
Homegrown rice are good for your health. It boosts our economy and give employment to our people.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous. Whether you do it for fun or for political gains, real people can get hurt. Fake news.
Thanks for being there. Passenger traffic was high Monday at the domestic terminal of Murtala Mohammed Airport. Elizabeth Ewuga completes the report.
A higher volume of travelers was noticeable at the arrival and departure lounges of the domestic terminals. At some airline counters, intending passengers were trying to get seats on available flights to various destinations across the country. Some airlines cashed in on the season and increased their fares on some routes by as much as 50%.
Ticket to go to Port Harcourt, I pay something lesser than 29,000. When I was coming back, I was shocked when I was getting my return ticket. It cost me 29,000 naira. It's so high.
For now, it's higher. But when there is no salary or anything, it's lower.
If it keeps on going this way, I don't think we'll get to a point whereby we'll not be able to afford it.
Meanwhile, the General Manager, Corporate Affairs, Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAN, Mrs. Henrietta Yakubu, has assured all air travelers that all airports under FAN management are fully prepared to process the expected rise in passenger movement during the Salah holiday.
Our outside staff have been put on red alerts to ensure that nothing happens in our airports that will put the lives of our passengers at risk. We are working with the Joint Military Task Force right now to ensure that our passengers will have seamless experience at our airports. We are opening the departure hall of the Terminal D in order to factor in the fact that a lot of passengers will be traveling during this season. So instead of just using the ground level for checking in and for departure, the ground level will now be used for checking in and the upper level for departing passengers.
While restating that FAN remained committed to its core values of safety, security and comfort, she warned security agents and airport officials in the habit of receiving dignitaries at restricted areas to desist, as anyone found violating the law will be apprehended and prosecuted. In Lagos, Elizabeth Ewuga, NTA News.
The Akran of Badagry has appealed to the management of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, to resuscitate the old NTA station in Ajara, Badagry. He made the appeal when the Zonal Director, Pius Oje, led management of the Lagos Network Center on a visit to his palace in Badagry. Tunde Saiki has details.
The Oba of Badagry Kingdom, the Aholu Menutoye I, said it is on record that the station, which was located in Badagry, became moribund following years of neglect. He said if the station is resuscitated, it will go a long way in bringing the tradition and culture as well as the economic potentials of the kingdom to the limelight. The Oba noted that as a former journalist, it will be a thing of joy for him to see that the station come back to life again. Speaking in the same vein, the Agolotor of Badagry Kingdom, Samuel Hodugon, said the Oba is passionate that the culture and tradition of Badagry be showcased to the world and that with the NTA in place, it will help to achieve that objective.
The monarch is a journalist to the core. Before ascending to the throne, he is so passionate about NTA network program. And he is saying that the NTA network program should come back to Badagry Township.
The Zunu director of the Lagos Network Center, Pius Oje, spoke about the historical relevance of Badagry to modern Nigeria, adding that the history of the country cannot be complete without reference to Badagry, which, among other things, had the first story building in the country.
The kind of relationship NTA team that the Lagos Network Center wants to establish with your council members here, with Badagry people, is such that we shall, from time to time, come into this time, do reports that will expose what is on ground, what you want to do, and what you are doing to better the lot of people from this part of the country.
He, however, assured the Accra and his council that NTA, through the Director General, will continue to partner with him in showcasing the rich culture and history of Badagry Kingdom to the world. In Lagos, Tunde Saiki, NTA News.
The Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing has announced that the third mainland bridge will be temporarily closed to traffic for 3 days to enable the federal government embark on an investigative maintenance test. The closure is scheduled to take place from midnight of Thursday 23rd to Sunday the 26th of August 2018. Stakeholders in a meeting held in Lagos appealed to motorists to exercise caution and obey traffic regulations during the period of the closure. Dotun Ogemi reports.
For the millions of commuters who ply the third mainland bridge, the news of its closure is not coming as a surprise, as the maintenance works was earlier scheduled for July and was pushed forward due to complaints by the motoring public. However, these concerns remain, but the federal government is determined to ascertain the integrity of the bridge and allow for maintenance works, which was last carried out in 2012. The Federal Controller of Works in Lagos State, Engineer Adedamola Kuti, while addressing a stakeholders meeting, assured the public that alternative routes have been renovated to ensure seamless flow of traffic.
A lot of efforts have been put in place to ensure that these trucks are off the road, and it has reduced drastically. Traffic to be at its lowest, and of course we want to ensure that things are done before school resumption in September.
Representatives of road traffic management agencies called, especially commercial bus drivers,
to calm the traffic, so we should look out for these signs.